What's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunched with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some unexpected news concerning Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterviev. Get this. A majority decision win for Artur Beterviev after a highly competitive 12 rounds. And from rounds one, it was a chess match. It was a chess match. I seen Artur going to the body. I seen Bivol quick and sharp and fast. And those guys were they both had their guards very high. You really couldn't do and say a lot about round one. Round two, pretty much the same. I think Bivol decided to get a little bit more busy by throwing combinations, and he did land a couple right hands along with some combinations in there, or the combinations set up the right hand. So a lot of punches were thrown between both people, both guys, that weren't landed flush. Round three, more of the same. I think Artur Beterbiev then started to get a little bit more aggressive as he started to throw shots, and those chopping shots that he's accustomed to. He started throwing them around the guard, especially that left guard of Bivol, and it started, red abrasions here. On the other hand, you had Artur Beterbiev. His nose was nice and shiny. You couldn't see anything else because that big beard he has, right? Rounds four, Bivol started to throw and land combinations. He started to move. And when he started to move, Artur Beterbiev got on the move, and he started throwing shots. This man started throwing combinations, and he started catching Dmitry Bivol as Dmitry Bivol tried to elude, but then it cost Artur at times because Dmitry does know how to fight frontwards and backwards, and he was able to counter Artur in that rounds five. Okay, very much interesting because they both had their moments in round five. Rounds five was a particular round where both guys showed what they can take and what they can do. Beterbiev was coming on strong. Round six, Bivol getting off those combinations sharp and fast, but at the same time, Beterbiev was starting to come on and go to the body, and he landed a right punch, a right hook to Artur and hurt him. We all seen that. And this man went on retreat. Okay, he went on retreat, and he was around the block for a while. And here comes Beterbiev. Okay, then we was like, okay, this is starting to shift. Now, round number seven. Round number seven is like both took a break. So it was like, okay, what's the deal with this? Round number eight, I think they kind of got back in it. I give that round to Bivol because Bivol was throwing those combinations. But the thing about the combinations for Bivol in this fight, they weren't landing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that tells you that the defense of Artur had improved a lot because they knew what to expect. And now on the other hand, for Artur landed shots, but again, they weren't flush. They weren't these shots that like he caught Ward with or Callum Smith with, and he did have his moments in the fight, don't get me wrong, but he normally didn't do what he normally did. However, round nine, we had Beterbiev coming in, rushing, and knowing it was a sense of urgency. Okay, Bivol still threw these shots and landed some good shots, and it looked like and it appeared like he wanted to trade. But I also noticed where Artur would get close, Bivol did the pragmatic raunchy thing, rough tactic by shoving him back, which was smart. Okay, it was smart. Rounds 10, here come Artur Beterbiev, chopping punches, throwing those shots. Bivol was on retreat. Bivol was taking the onslaught. Bivol, I don't care what nobody says, has a chin, because a lot of people, those punches that Artur throws, those short 3 to 4 inch punches that he lands, those have some real stank behind them, okay? They have some real power. They generate real power from that shorter distance. That's how I was able to get a lot of people out of there and bust them up, okay? And then eventually knock them out. That didn't happen with Bivol. Round 11, here comes Beterbiev, chopping and dropping those punches. to Bivol. And Bivol, of course, was pretty much on the back pedal. I mean, he was throwing combinations when he could, when the coast was clear, because Artur was throwing bombs over Baghdad. Let's just be real. He was throwing these punches, and he was punching with mean intentions. Okay, so then rounds 12, Artur Beterviev, that's definitely Artur Beterviev round. He was just beating up Bivol, and Bivol was on his bike. Bivol started clinching, and Bivol was like, look, as long as I stand up, I should win. Right? Wrong. He did not win, and he thought that he was Oscar De La Hoya fighting Felix Trinidad or Sugar Ray Leonard fighting Hagler. It was no such party tonight. But my thing is, I think, and I had the fight, I had it pretty close. So when we call it a robbery, it's like, it should, like, that would be a unanimous decision, but it wasn't. One had it a draw, but the other two had it for Beterviev. Now, the 115-113, I wouldn't have had a problem with. That's what 7 rounds to 5. What I had a problem with was 116 to 112. That's where I had a problem. That's 8 rounds to 4. Since it's 8 rounds to 4, that means they had Artur winning 8 rounds. And I'm thinking, where did they have him winning these 8 rounds at? So I had, if anything, how the narrative should have went. The boxer should have won the decision versus the slugger should have won if he knocked him out. And that's been almost, now we say, the story behind Beterviev. Now he wins by decision, and people are wondering why. Well, we look at the punch stats. The punch stats were 141 to 138. 141 landed for Bivol. 138 landed for Beterviev. So it wasn't long and far apart with punch output. I will say this, Bivol did rally. He did win the championship rounds. But I would say that 8 rounds to 4 is that's too much. That's way too much. And I would disagree with that. Now, the only problem is if they fought again, what could Dmitry Bivol do? What could he do better, man? You know what I mean? Land more shots, I guess. But I mean, what are you going to do against somebody fighting someone like that? Hell, somebody else fight him if you think you can do better. Because Dmitry Bivol I think he did a good job to either win or definitely have a draw. Either way, we should have a rematch. Okay? Because Artur didn't do what he normally did, but Dmitry Bivol did do what he normally does. He has 23 fights, or 24 now, with 12 knockouts. What do you think? He's a knockout artist? No. You know what I mean? He's a guy that he throws punches in bunches, and, he throws beautiful combinations, great punch placement, great footwork. A lot of people will call that running. No, he was just keeping himself out of the corners from getting cornered. You don't want to get cornered by a puncher like Beterviev. But I do think it was strange. It makes me wonder what the judges were doing. But nonetheless, it wasn't a robbery. Okay, it was a fight that people think that went to the wrong guy. But you guys tell me what you think about Artur Beterviev winning a majority decision against Dmitry Bivol. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!